What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Monster Legends. And in today's video, I'll give you a guide on how to get Heroic Orbs and what Warmasters are worth obtaining. So we'll start off with how to get Heroic Orbs. So the number one way to get them is by doing multiplayer, and after every multiplayer season, you will receive some rewards. So you start getting Heroic Orbs at Gold 3, where you get 50, and the amount that you get keeps increasing every league. So it would be ideal if you could get to Legendary League, where you start getting 300 to 1.5k, and I'm in Legendary 2, so I'll get 600 at the end of every multiplayer season. That is the number one way to get them. The second way is if you go to the Legends Pass, and if you are a spender and buy the Legends Pass, there'll be Heroic Orbs inside it as you get more challenge points. So another way is if you go to dungeons, resource dungeons, there will sometimes be a Nemesis dungeon which gives you Heroic Orbs. However, you'll only be able to do it if you have 3 Nemesis monsters, which are quite hard to obtain. And another way is if you go to packs, then Heroic Orbs, you can buy them, but that is only for people who have like hundreds of gems, and it's only worth it when there's a discount. So that is it for how to get Heroic Orbs. Now we'll move on to what more Warmasters are worth getting. So for this part of the video, we are going to be focusing on what Warmasters are worth obtaining. So if you go to Heroic Dungeons and click the question mark icon, it will show you what each Warmaster is in each week of the season. So as they are unranked when you get them, the higher rank they are, the better skills they get. So now I'll tell you the top 3 for the unranked Warmasters. My number one recommendation for unranked Warmasters will be Warmaster Elvira, who is really good for unranked Warmaster due to her trait, which at the start of the battle gives evasion to a whole team, which is really useful when the enemy goes first and they can't attack you unless they can remove positive effects. And also, she is really good at removing negative effects from your team, and also has very high damage skills that can heal your team. So now we'll get on to the second spot of the podium. The number 2 spot of unranked Warmasters will be Warmaster Scherzer, who is an incredibly good Warmaster at unranked, and what skills he has, a skill called Grandmaster Scroll that activates cooldowns on all enemies, which is extremely useful if they have no Mega Taunt, and also he has many effects that can block positive effects, and also he can remove positive effects and remove negative effects from your team. So that comes in really useful when your team has a lot of negative effects that you don't want to have and may end up making you lose the battle, and then you can just cleanse all of those away, which is extremely nice. So now we'll get on to the final recommendation of unranked Warmasters. My final recommendation for unranked Warmasters will be Warmaster Ragnarok, who has a trait that at the start of the battle gives a random Warmaster status caster. So it could be Scherazar's, which gives cooldown protection, or it could be Elvira, which gives evasion, and many others which will come in useful depending on who you're facing. And also, he has skills that can remove effects, heal, trait disable or total blind, and activate cooldowns and give curse. And also, he has many skills that can remove percentage of enemies' HP. Like in one skill, he can remove 75% of a total enemy's HP, which is a significant amount if they have a lot of health. And now, with that said, we'll move on to the ranked Warmasters. The number 1 ranked Warmaster will be Warmaster Thalassa, who ranked has many extra turn skills that within a couple of turns will be able to remove all positive effects from all enemies, trait disable all enemies, and mega freeze all enemies, which is something that's seen on no other monsters. And that is very game breaking and can be used very well with the turn transfer monsters such as Lindworm. And now I'll get on to the second spot. The number 2 spot of ranked Warmasters will go to Warmaster Ragnarok, who ranked has skills that can revive allies with double damage, or turn transfer, give stamina and remove any negative effects, and also give mega stun or mega freeze to one enemy. So he can be used as a support or a denier, whichever you will want. And he has many other things, such as his amazing trait, which I talked about in the Unranked Warmasters, and other skills that could be used. So now get on to the final Warmaster for the ranked category. The number 3 ranked Warmaster is Warmaster Scherzer, who has ranked skills that give random control skills to all enemies and random torture skills, or skills that activate cooldowns on all enemies, skills that give positive effect block, and also remove many negative effects from your team and remove positive effects from the enemy. And that is a really good denier skill set for a legendary. So now we'll move on to the costs of the Warmasters. The costs of the Warmasters are unranked will be 2,300 to 2,400 orbs depending on which Warmaster, and I will leave the ranked Warmasters costs in the description. So that is going to be it for today's video, and as always, remember to like and subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.